How often do you get out and about in the grounds?
There was a time when I was a young man that I used to regularly go for long walks around, but I don't often go in without somebody telling me which way to go.
From here you go out in front of the house, up towards Park Hill, possibly where you came in. Did you come down the hill? You probably came down the hill. But instead of going up the hill, you turn left through the no entry, so you're going up the no entry the wrong way. Go up to the safari office, just say to the person in the safari office, you know, you're going up to see them, and they'll send you up. Either you'll go up the back road round, or you'll go in the same way as the public, and whoever's on, you know, whoever you want to talk to will be there.
I've been here just over a year now in the safari park.
Have you always been into animals and stuff?
Yes, I lived in a game reserve for about 14 years before I moved to England. So you get used to the animals around you.
I have been living here a while, so actually I find that it's quite similar in the way that there are a lot of foreign people and the people are really friendly. So obviously I find this place nice to stay here.
I do like Catherine, the zebra, Katie rather. She looks like she's like the zebra equivalent of like a tennis ball that your dog's had for years, and he's bitten all like the fluff away, and you've just got that like hard black rubber under surface with a couple of patches of what used to be the outside of the ball. She's so old now, bless her, she's losing her stripes.
I'm very, what's the word? What's the word, Jeff, when women sort of are frightened of me? What do you call it? What's it called? Come on. Oi! Yes, you said to me, English women don't like me because I'm what?
Too much of a threat.
Too much of a threat. I give out sexual appeal.
The hippos don't do anything. 22 hours a day of sleep and 2 hours of eating. That's about it. They are so bone idle.
No. I kind of suck up to the boss, so I ain't got to do any work. I just get to sit out back doing nothing all day.
Oh, my daily routine, right? I get up at about 7 o'clock and I'm usually in work by about 8, and that's quite good because it's quite quiet between 8 and 9. And then I run around for about 12 hours and then come home again.
You'll end up having a laugh all day because of the fact if you didn't, you'd end up crying. But yeah, it's cold, muddy in the winter, but of the summer, obviously, you know, your muscles are big. You feel a bit sure of yourself, like the old sun comes out, everyone's a poser, and yeah, you know, and it's have a laugh, and then home, sleep, and that's it. That's it really, it's just, yeah, good.
Do you get lots of problems with the monkeys putting cars to pieces?
It depends on what mood the monkeys are in. I mean, if it's really hot weather, then you're very well if you see any monkeys doing much damage.
Or the windscreen wipers off and things like that.
But it depends on what mood the monkeys are in completely to what damage they do. The
Volkswagen was the make that came to pieces the easiest. And the old Triumph Acclaim, if you had one of those, when it went out, there wasn't a lot left on it afterwards.
I think sort of the great apes are capable of thinking it up to a point, but they can't follow a chain of thought very far. The concept that
male monkeys like red coloured cars because female bottoms are red when they're in season. They sort of shine a bit more.
Blanky check pen, here we go.
What's the matter?
Sophie's eating a mouse.
We don't really get involved with the food side of things. We don't actually eat here as such. You know, we've obviously got our own home life.
Yeah.
We go home obviously to sleep when we've got to sleep. Specific sort of Hello. All right. Have a cup of tea. That's right. Yeah. Come to the back door. Somebody will meet you there. Okay.
Well, I once set something that had fallen down in the, or been knocked down, I don't know quite how it came to my plate, in the safari park. And that was an antelope of some kind and had a special name, but I can't really remember what it was. And that, I think, we all had a portion of it somewhere around the estate.
You can guarantee someone will come up to the fence, won't they, and go, "What type of animal's that?" and think it's really, really, really funny. They do though, don't they?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a monkey? Maybe I just look weird.
Maybe you do.
Right, yeah.
No, it does happen, yes.
It's when they stop whistling and looking that you start worrying, you know. Your face.
We should have started this early, you know. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
Come on, Brian.
Please stop looking at me like that.
I'm not looking. How do you cope? I'm so sorry. How do you cope?
Look at you making me laugh.
I'm not. It's you.
No, sorry, I employ artists to do all the...
I'm hoping to get a working permit to stay working in the safari park, but unfortunately I don't know yet, so it's going to take about another 6 months for me to find out.
Oh no, I'll definitely stay here. It's just easy work. Yeah, I'll stay for quite a while, I think. Can't really be bothered to do anything else.
This summer is going to be the last summer I'm going to be here. I've been here a while, and really, I haven't traveled as much as I would like.
Usually got a chuck whizzing bicycle jump in that.
We went to Bath yesterday. I think it's just an amazing place.
Do you know how old I am? What do you think? I won't be cross, I promise.
I can't speak.
Oh, come on. Mouth it. Next.
Is that the way out?
No idea.
We were following you.
No, we're trying to find a way in. We know where the way out is.
You don't know the way out.
This isn't the way out though, is it?
I'd like to be a bird.
I don't know, something like an Andean condor. Lots of space, you know, sort of.
Big birds of prey, something like that.
Soaring above the mountains and just looking down and looking for your dinner.
Nice big albatross.
No, Mike, being reincarnated as a sparrow.
And birds go. There we go.
I like to put food out for them, especially in the winter, because you see them in the trees and they're sort of looking a bit nonplussed, aren't they? But I put one of those peanut things out recently, thinking I was doing them a good turn, and it was like 10 weeks later, there was no visible sign of any nut disappearing, and I thought, well, what's this all about? I don't know.
How'd you open the bag?
Well, you don't open the bag, do you? They're supposed to go through the bag, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't think bland comes into our eating. We're definitely, what would you say, gourmets or gourmands, whichever word it is. We like to indulge and enjoy the food, really.
And I think probably there's a good variety in what we eat. Thai, Indian, Chinese, French, Italian.
Yeah, whatever.
Traditional British.
As long as it tastes good, I'll eat it, really.
And the best of all, of course, is duck.
The only thing you can do is not to make eye contact, of course. As soon as you make eye contact, it just has you. I think it's because you're easy prey. You're a nice little bit of meat here. Nice and small, I could soon whip him round. Perhaps that's what they do. Think, oh, he's quite vulnerable, I'll have this one.
When you're up a tree,
You're head and shoulders above all the buildings. You can see the contours of the land. There's something immensely liberating about that. And it's real freedom to be out there in the wind.
How do birds stay up in the air? It's all to do with aerodynamics, and that's far too complicated for me to go into now.
Some things aren't worth thinking about, are they like that?
Not all birds stay up in the air, do they?
No, they don't.
If you dropped an emu out of an aircraft, it wouldn't stay in the air, would it?
No.
The first time I flew myself, I was scared silly. But quickly started to enjoy it. It's not short of hard work. Every single day. Something new, something different, got to keep learning.
Birds stay in the air through magic. And like, there's all these scientists and naturalists who think they've got it sus, but it's all magic.
You think it's sort of Peter Pan, do you, Ian? Sort of they have a happy thought. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, birds are happy, and that's why they can fly.
It's brilliant. When you're flying down the M6, you can see truckers flash their lights when they see you. It's great. There's no better feeling, I think. It's really free. It's good.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling. Yeah. You gotta limber up, you gotta loosen up. You gotta get all that. You know what I mean? You gotta warm it up before you let rip.
Yes, I've never flown. Except I have jumped. I'm very brave at some things.
I don't like to take off, I like to land.
Me personally, I do like taking off, the pull of it, right? When you actually take off, yeah, I do enjoy that sort of thing.
Taking off the surge, the acceleration, the noise, the shaking, and then, once you're airborne and everything's stabilised, perfectly all right. And obviously turbulence isn't much fun, but it's not usually anything to worry about. I've never flown in really bad weather or had a bad experience. If you've got that flying bug, then I don't think you really lose that.
It doesn't matter how many times you take off into a dawn or landing at sunset.
Yeah.
It's just a special thing.
I've got the best sense of direction. Anna's got no sense of direction. None at all, have you, Anne?
No, definitely not. No, I haven't got a clue on direction, how to get there, how to get back now. No, I haven't got a clue.
I could probably lose her around the block. She wouldn't be able to get back. Definitely not.
Oh, well, would we say we've got a good sense of direction? I mean, we're blokes, aren't we? I mean, of course, we don't have to stop and ask for directions, ever. I mean, you never get lost, do you, blokey?
I've never been lost at all in my life. I've been temporarily misplaced from time to time, but never actually lost, so I'd say I've got a pretty good sense of direction as well.
Without landmarks, I'm lost. Without landmarks, I really am useless. And you take a right, and it's down there.
Myself personally, I don't like flying because I don't like heights. But we've never actually ever been on what I'd call a long flight now. It's been 4 hours at the most, isn't it? Yeah. How I'd fare on a 7 or 11 hour flight, I just do not know. No, I don't think I'd handle it very well at all, to be honest with you.
Pigeons are vermin, man.
Sky rats, what I call pigeons.
You know what I mean? What we need is a few more peregrine falcons around London.
Sparrowhawks.
Sort them out, you know what I mean?
But it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller the areas we can go to. And yeah, it would be great just to be able to rort down London's high street, Woohoo, check me out, everybody. I'm coming past your window. Oh, that would be cool.
It's not the fear of flying, it's the fear of crashing. Well, people say they're frightened of flying, but they're not really. They just feel frightened of dying.
Funnily enough, I've only actually been flying about 4 times in my life. The last time I went to Italy in May, and that I found fine. I got over it, and I realised it was an irrational fear, but before that it really was like a white-knuckle ride. To be honest with you, I do have quite a few fears and phobias. I don't like heights either, but flying was a bad one for me for a while, but I'm fine with it now.
I don't think I've got a fear of heights, maybe a fear of falling from a great height, but no, those being up on a high place doesn't give me the shivers. Other things do, but not heights.
Yeah, I've not got a problem with heights at all.
I actually fell through a couple of skylights on roofs, one at Bath Road at Brislington. I actually fell through the skylight and dropped through into the kitchen area. They weren't very happy though, not for the fact that I cut all my legs, it was for the fact that I had ruined all the dinner.
He'd had a bad accident about 2 years ago, flying one, sort of crashed into the ground, didn't you?
It was quite a turbulent day, and I started spinning, and I saw the ground coming up. I was going to crash near people, and broke my pelvis off.
Nasty.
The pelvis broke off, and it came up and it hit the first 3 ribs.
Did the ribs break as well?
Yeah.
They did. The pelvis broke the ribs?
Yeah.
Oh. Oof. Lucky you didn't hit your head though.
Yeah.
Actually, I find that one of the most relaxing sounds there is, birds singing.
Yeah, lovely.
British food, I think, is first class. It's somehow clean, satisfying.
English food is very bland, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not terribly spicy, I'm not either.
Oh, no,
or I like the spices and the spices don't like me, you know what I mean?
No, I like spices, and I like all kinds. There's nothing around here anyway, is there?
The trouble with the foods we eat now, there's too much fat in them. And the worst thing that happens in this country, there's too many people eat chips.
Ooh, egg and chips, gammon, chip butties.
I mean, at lunchtime, instead of kiddies going down and buying a couple of apples or a couple of pears, what do? They go to the chip shops and buy chips. And when they get home at night, they have chips again.
You know, if I have too much chocolate, I get a bit fat, and I put on a lot of weight.
Yeah, she eats really well for a diet. I mean, I pile the weights on and she piles it off. So I think what she loses, I gain.
I try and eat healthily.
And she eats brown bread and all the rest of it. Apples and bananas, you name it, she eats it.
The main staple diet for runners is...
We had, in fact, we had wild strawberries, little wild strawberries. And of course, if it was acorn time, you could always eat an acorn. And even the thistle, you could always peel the top off of the thistle.
Are you talking about food? I go to a restaurant, I like everything.
Everything.
You know, not one particular,
like
a Mexican or a thing. That's no good for me.
There are one or two foreign foods I do have. Rice pudding, proper pizzas. Like some of the deep pan pizzas.
The crust on top, amazing. And then that gooey stuff inside. But that sort of poo is a lot healthier, horse poo and cow poo. Cow pats are fantastic to look at, though, with all those dung beetles crawling around inside them.
As long as it's filling and barely edible, I'll pretty much eat it. I'm always too hungry to be picky.
I didn't like to eat anything really that was contaminated by any insect. Although we put up with it when you're hungry. I never ate it, that I know of. may have done, I don't know.
Horse poo is very good, you know. But human poo and dog poo, that's poisonous, I think.
Yeah, but if you eat a bit of dirt, it don't matter, does it?
No, they reckon you eat a pound of dirt anyway. In your lifetime, they reckon you eat a pound of dirt. God. Without even knowing.
I used to go around the back of shops, supermarkets, going down the back of the skips to get
No
the
problem.
shops out. Yeah, I've eaten food that's been a week old and what have you. Anything from frozen to tins. I used to find all sorts of food in the skips. I was like liberating it.
And then there's elephant poo, which is enormous. And lion's poo, now that must frighten anybody off.
I don't catch flies because they eat poo, and I don't like poo.
Like eating dirt, you got your trace elements in there, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, and it builds up your resistance to infections
Exactly.
as well. So it ain't a bad thing, I don't think.
Dirt on food. Dirt on what? Dirt on food can kill you. You can put one mouthful of dirty food in your mouth and you can be a goner. Can you ask me that question?
I think I've ate more lead shot than I've certainly ate oysters. I think that's probably, I don't know, it's probably why my brain's a bit funny, or, yeah.
Dog and cat food.
It smells absolutely disgusting,
Well,
doesn't
it's
it?
very strong.
Horrible.
It's very strong.
Oh, I don't think I'd like to eat a sheep's eyeball or an intestine of a cow or something like that. But if you've got all these sort of intestines and all these sort of, you know, not so appetising bits of animals, then they mix it all up in a mixer and then they call it
I don't want to sound like a cannibal, but there again, we all went out for a meal and the chicken was so horrible. I could vomit all night and never stop. That was really, really horrible.
Horrible. Yeah, bloody milk cartons. Goes everywhere, milk, anything. There's too many bags in the world.
God help the people with arthritis.
Yes,
They never open them.
they can't.
It's terrible.
Even to tea bags, even to get them stuck.
The
You know, it's
cellophane on it, you
ridiculous.
can't open it. The biscuits, you can't open it. All packages.
And a packet of ham, which I don't very well.
It's terrible. They're not, none of the
By
packages.
the time you open it, you don't want the ham.
No. Oh gosh, yes.
I hate seafood. I really, absolutely detest it. I did eat a fish once, about 2 years ago, and it was, I think they're disgusting.
Now, I you know, like prawns and all the shellfish, I mean, I know they're lovely, but I'm always afraid in case you get the one that will turn your stomach.
Whelks mussels. That's like eating slugs.
Is it?
Oysters and stuff.
I've never
Brilliant.
tasted a slug.
Ugh, sliding down your gullet.
But you don't eat slugs,
Like
do you?
eating a slug.
Well, how do you know when you've never had one?
That's how I would imagine it to be.
I love salads. Same as I'd rather have a salad than a roast dinner.
We eat a lot of salad in the summer, don't we?
Mm.
More in the winter.
Salt, a bit of tomato. Can't beat a
Bit
bit of
lettuce.
salt.
Can't beat a bit of lettuce.
Well, I mean, I feel very healthy. The only thing that I have problems with is digestion, and I don't know what is wrong with my digestion. I mean, it's just like I just fart all the time, you know?
I've got a windy stomach. So, like, a lot of things I would not eat if it would upset me. But other than that, no, I'm not a diet person.
Vegetarian is all right, but when they cut out everything, because some of them don't eat, well, they're vegans, is it? Vegans, I think that's hard.
I've been a vegetarian a long time, and when I'm angry, I sometimes lapse and just go and bite something that's made out of meat, and then I feel guilty afterwards.
Vegetarians, I think they're sort of trying to be better than the rest of us. You know, it's been proved, as far as I know, that the best thing to eat is a bit of yourself.
Actually, beans gives me wind and lemonade makes me burp.
What are you looking at?
Thank you very much.
I love this environment. I mean, it's great fun. The one thing that everybody has in common when they walk through that door is they love their animals.
Most pet shops are quite loud because they have birds in and they're always sort of singing, if you can call it singing. And there's lots of cages. And you sometimes, if you can put your finger through the bar and tickle what's ever inside like a rabbit.
At the end of the day, most of it's the U factor, the R factor, you know. That's, oh, look at that, you know. Cute little kitten.
it's awful to think that we're sitting there waiting for somebody to pluck us out of the air and take us home and keep us forever, you know. But at the same time, I'm never brave enough to go and make the first move and go up to somebody and say, right, you, how about taking me home and looking after me and loving me and cherishing me?
I think, go for things that are obvious. Dogs and cats and the like. I mean, there's all sorts of people, they have things in their bathrooms and all sorts, don't they, alligators and that sort of thing. Wouldn't have it in my bathroom, I can say. Nope, wouldn't.
He's called Chester, and he is very long when he stretches himself out. If you annoy me, his eyes sort of widen a bit.
I don't think that I'm awful looking, I think I'm alright looking. People always say that I've got very open, honest eyes. So I think that I would be pretty nice to have around and have hanging about the place on the sofa.
I don't know. A lot of old nonsense, I think, really. So, I mean, you need to spend proper amounts of money on things, but you see some of these dogs that people have about. No, I don't think you need to spend a lot on them.
Dog toys, well, they love running and fetching things, so we've got balls on ropes, and lots of dogs, especially the smaller dog, like a Yorkshire Terrier, likes a squeaky toy. That's a high-pitched one, or just for a laugh, we've got ones that'll go.
We went to a friend's last weekend, and this poor little hamster's in this wheel thing for its exercise.
Well, it had a little car. It was a Volkswagen Beetle with a wheel in the middle, and it actually, by working the wheel, moved across the carpet.
Poor old hamsters running around on the wheel. Why do they do it? Because they're as daft as a 2-bob watch, I should think. Them poor bloody hamsters thinking, I could get out of here in about 2 minutes flat. And then they find out they ain't going nowhere. Just like the rest of us. We're all on the bloody wheel ourselves, aren't we?
Dogs are just stupid. People go on about how
stupid as stick insects. Stick insects are the most stupid creatures in the world. I mean, look at me pretending to be a log. Isn't that clever? Oh, I'm a little twig. Isn't that great? I mean, dogs are far better than that.
I think cats make good pets.
There's quite a lot of cats with bad breath, though. That's what I don't like about them.
Cats?
Yeah.
I like stick insects. I once got a train journey with me and 2 stick insects. It was brilliant.
I know, and I very much like a stick insect, but not as a intellectual conversationalist. I mean, hey, have you seen my log impression? Yes. You know, it doesn't go much further than that, does it?
Stick insects don't have a developed vocal tract. That wouldn't happen. I think, though, dogs are stupid.
I don't really like snakes. Spiders I can live with, but I've never touched a snake. I almost did, but no, they're not our thing.
I feel isolated. I feel alone. I think I can hear something scraping on the outside, and I don't know what it is. I'd like there to be someone here with me.
Snakes can be dangerous to other pets. They can swallow things whole, and they do eat mice and small rodents whole without chewing.
Now, I like the furries and the tortoises, because I've got tortoises. I love tortoises, but they're still asleep at the moment.
Oh, sleep's really important to me. Yeah, I mean, I go through passages when I need to have a lot of it, and it's just good. I mean, man, come on. It must be, you know, in the top 3 of everybody's list. Your bed, you know, I mean, top 3, top 2, top 1, maybe the top. My bed, wow.
Sometimes the pet, when people are looking, will actually do something to say, I'm the one you want. Here I am. You want me? I'll have me.
It's like I've been sitting on a bench with all of my friends. It's like being at a dance, one by one, somebody's come up and taking them away. And then there's just me.
How much am I worth? I would find it very hard to put a value on that.
On a good day, I would say that I'd be worth a fair lump sum.
Do I say £1 million or do I say £10 million?
I don't think I'm that valuable. I think I'm worth about £142 probably.
At the end of the day, if you're the right person, you can buy me for 10p.
But the rest of the time, on days when maybe I'm feeling a bit grumpy and I'm sort of having an off day with people and I'm not in my normal friendly state of mind, I wouldn't pay a penny for me. I'd throw me back and choose another one.
I want a price ticket on myself.
No, not at all.
No,
I wouldn't even sell you.
I wouldn't sell you either.
Ah.
I don't know if I worry about being left on the shelf, because at the end of the day, I've come through sort of many years of being on my own and having a really great time. And I think, well, if I was on my own, I'd just continue to live life. And if it was at this standard, I wouldn't have a lot to complain about.
I've sort of been on and off the shelf, as they say, really. There's been a time when I thought I was on the shelf and then I got took off again.
Everyone gets rejection in life. When you're younger, you're more able to actually cope with that, I think, and bounce back. And you're not on the shelf for long.
I know that it will be okay in the end, but I am very pessimistic. I think it's going to take a long time before I get out of here.
The icing on the cake would be the partner or the companion who would be there with me for the next number of years.
And so I'm nicely happy now in my life, having been took off the shelf, and that's like a nice family that I'm in now, and that's very comfortable sort of feeling.
Jill has a tendency, most mornings actually, to claim that at some point during the previous night I farted very loudly.
I think snakes and spiders are more scared of you than you are of them.
I have a phobia of being shut in an incredibly small space. Like my ultimate, the idea of being buried alive with no space in a box. Oh man.
I think the egg came first.
I think
to give birth, so the chicken could come out, and then the chicken can have more eggs.
But where did the egg come from?
Oh yeah, but if you think about it, an egg is going to become a chicken, but it's being but then the chicken's going to be would be an egg. So if you think about chickens after the eggs, I think egg comes first.
Yeah, but maybe the chicken might have come from another animal, like a rooster.
There's sterile waters somewhere, and the volcanic chemicals and all that have started life, and then we've evolved from that. What I do find hard is the fact that we've actually evolved from something so minuscule, like so microscopic, to the dinosaurs, to us.
I think that we come from some kind of chemical explosion that caused some form of life to be created, and that we eventually slithered out of the sea, and it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually we're going to be extinct.
I think we are a process of evolution. I think we are not the top of the pinnacle. We are just a branch, I think.
Yeah, I'm completely conscious of the fact that I'm actually just a cloud of potential, of which primarily water molecules. If you looked at me across time, you would see a cloud of water molecules form and momentarily become Brian and then move off again.
I can't bring myself around to thinking we came from the sea.
No, I don't think great-great-granddad was a fish.
Slimy then, wasn't
Yeah, I'm sure that we came from the sea, most definitely, because it just seems, when I get into water, I naturally want to start frolicking, and I think that must mean that so we came out of the sea and crawled onto land for some reason. I don't know why, and it's a shame. I think it'd be great if we all went back to being aquatic.
I don't know. I think we're more likely to have originated from on land, because we haven't got we've got gills, haven't we? But maybe, you know.
Well, they're always looking for this missing link, aren't they? And they've never found it yet. The connection between us and monkeys. I mean, what sort of idiot wants to prove he's come from a monkey?
The difference between me and a monkey would be mainly that monkeys, they live in the jungle and I live in Catford.
There's a train of thought that says that we came to this planet thousands, hundreds, millions, whatever, years ago, and in fact already did colonise this planet as an alien race.
I do incline to think maybe we did start from another planet, maybe we did come from another planet.
You know, I'd love to see aliens or something similar on our planet. I think it would be great to see how we kind of interact with them, whether they'd be similar to us or not very similar or something like that.
Would they be good golfers?
Humans were created by this giant cosmic cow licking a stone, and as it licked this stone, the humans rolled off.
Looking at birds evolved from dinosaurs. Yeah, probably could have done, because they did actually have wings, didn't they? Some dinosaurs years and years ago, didn't they? So that was the size of the dinosaur, and how do you get something like a sparrow or a little wren or something like that from something that's absolutely ginormous, this huge, great sort of dinosaur?
I don't know really. I haven't never really given it much thought.
Yeah, where'd you get these questions from?
Well, you know, your evolution, that's all a load of rubbish, isn't it? It's not true, is it? It's a load of rubbish. How can you possibly evolve a set of wings? It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, I'd like a set of wings. I'd love a set of wings. In fact, if I could have anything, I'd definitely have a set of wings, but it wouldn't matter how many times I jumped off a tall building, I'd never grow wings. And even if I jumped off a tall building and then my child jumped off a tall building and his child jumped off a tall building and we did that forever and ever and ever, there is not the slightest chance that wings would grow out of my back.
We all started off much the same kind of thing. We all were waddling along on our bellies to begin with. Then we grew arms and heads and legs, and some of us got up and walked, and some of us stayed down crawling around. No, I'm glad I've evolved the way I am. I wouldn't like to have been further back in the evolutionary scale.
I think we've evolved to our full potential. I think we have.
Possibly.
It's hard
Maybe
to...
not on an intellectual basis, because
I don't know, it's hard
to
see how you can improve further, isn't it?
We'd be able to do some good tricks if we had a couple more legs. I'm sure we'd be able to work out some new stunts for the show, so that could be a positive advantage, definitely at this stage.
Depends whose legs they were, doesn't it, right?
I think, obviously we'd adapt in whatever way if we had extra legs, but...
We were, wouldn't it? If you had 6 legs, where would your arse be?
Yeah.
I don't know whether physiologically we're developing.
The only thing I can think of is that because we have such stressed lives, we're much more aware of exercising to release the stress, and so we're getting more toned bodies than we might have had.
I've got as far as I'd like to evolve as I am at the moment. At the moment,
I'm searching, you know what I mean?
Aren't we all?
Maybe one day I'll just wake up and think, I have evolved.
One day we think you got there, the next minute you get run over.
That's it, game over. You know what I mean?
I regard myself as a kind of ego-driven space-time meat vehicle, and I'm in the centre as the driver, trapped inside the folly of the monkey ego. But I accept that its limitations, but I know that the truth is that it's actually just a space-time version of a larger hyperdimensional information field.
Oh, jeez. I just think, at the end of the day, it's about genetic
transport. Basically, we're just hauling genomes along in a bag, which is our body, from century to century. I think that's what it's all about, folks, you know.
It's noticeable we don't get cold winters anymore. They're just wet. So we might survive another one.